Thank you for joining us tonight, folks. A special council meeting, 20th of December 2022. Item 1, recording and live streaming of council meetings. Thank you, Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. All council meetings are filmed with both audio and video being recorded. The reasoning behind recording council meetings is to hold us more accountable and to improve the transparency of council decision-making to our community. The full meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the YouTube channel shortly after this meeting.
Thank you. Item 2, the acknowledgement of traditional custodians. Alpine Shire Council acknowledges the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting today. Council also acknowledges all of the traditional owners of the wider lands of the area known as the Alpine Shire. We also acknowledge those people who have contributed to the rich fabric of our community and strive to make wise decisions that will improve the quality of life for all. Tonight we have 2 apologies, Councillor Nicholas and Councillor Keeble. So we still have a quorum, which is good. Now, are there any councillors that have a conflict of interest with tonight's agenda? No? Excellent. Right. The reason for tonight is because we are about to award. Councillor Kelly seems to have dropped out. We will keep going. Hopefully he can come back in. We're about to award a cleaning contract, an additional cleaning contract or a variation. Could I please have the presentation of this report by Director of Customer and Community, Ms. Helen Havercroft? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you everyone for convening for a special council meeting this evening. The purpose of this report relates to the award of a contract for public waste and recycling collection, servicing and cleaning of public amenities and our council facilities in the Kiewa Valley. The background to this is that in August 2020, Ausbright Facilities Management were awarded 3 separate contracts for areas of cleaning across our shire. And in recent times, there's been a series of underperformance issues. And given as we're going into the summer period and the intense scrutiny that there will be, particularly on our amenities, the time was right to extract our cleaning with Ausbright from the Kiewa Valley and to award it to a new contractor, allowing Ausbright to focus on the Ovens Valley, and a new contractor, subject to this evening's meeting, to focus on the Kiewa Valley in all of those areas, so public waste, recycling, amenities cleaning, and the cleaning of our council facilities. Some of the details are identified within the issues around the underperformance and also the risk to the reputation of the council from having very poorly cleaned amenities. And it's really important that our amenities are maintained to a good standard, and we've had lots of complaints. The councillors have certainly brought officers' complaints relating to the cleanliness of sites, and there's complaints around our facilities as well. We went through a tendering process from Procure Australia for the tender, and we've met with PeopleWorks to determine the level of service that they'll be able to provide within the Kiewa Valley. They're going to be placing 3 staff in the Kiewa Valley, which is an increase on Ausbright's commitment there. So hopefully there will be a change. And as you can see in the recommendations, we're also acknowledging that we will need to do some audits of the sites, both in the Ovens to maintain standards and in the Kiewa Valley to check that the new contractor is keeping up the standards that we expect, which is a shift from where we've been in the past. So a normal evaluation of the tender took place, and some reference checking was undertaken for PeopleWorks, which came up very favourably. So perhaps just very quickly around the finances. So there's 3 contracts that are currently awarded to Ausbright Facilities Management, and they are focused. They're not clean in that the breakdown is not just for the Kiewa Valley and the Ovens, so it's not a simple task, and that the contracts are awarded and then charged based on the number of hours that are worked. So there is an approximate value for the amount of the contract that has been taken off Ausbright in this regard, but it's not definitive at this point. What we do know is that the contract for PeopleWorks comes to the sum that is identified in the recommendation. And some of that will fall in this financial year, and some of that will fall to be budgeted in the 23-24 financial year. So the recommendation this evening is that council awards the contract 22104 for the provision of public waste and recycling collection services and cleaning of public amenities and council facilities in the Kiewa Valley to People Works Cleaning Services Proprietary Limited for a 9-month period commencing on the 27th of December. That they note that Osbright Facilities Management will no longer be compensated for any Kiewa Valley elements of their existing contracts. That notes a weekly audit will be undertaken of amenity cleaning to oversee the cleaning standards, and that they delegate authority to Council's Chief Executive Officer to sign the contract at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Ms Havercroft. Could I have a mover and a seconder, please, for this motion, this recommendation? Councillor Janus and Councillor Prime. Thank you. Councillor Janus.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just reacquainting myself with the screen. Look, it's been an ongoing concern for citizens for some time now, as we all know, and I congratulate the staff for being able to get something in order in place at such short notice, really, when everything is so busy. Our public facilities are an important part of showcasing the Alpine Shire, not just for our environment, but for keeping our people safe, I suppose. Yes, is probably the proper word, and ensuring that our facilities are kept to a high standards, which they should be, particularly in these times where we have had a pandemic, and therefore cleanliness is such an important issue. And I've seen, unfortunately, some of the works that have not been done particularly over in the Kiewa Valley, and I think it is time for a change. I think it's a good idea that we have a monitor there for some time to ensure that the job is being done properly and to a high standard. So I've no problem with this.
Thank you, Councillor Janus. Councillor Prime.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Completely agree. It is it's a safety issue at the end of the day. This has been on our radar for a little bit, the underperformance, and I know we've all been keeping an eye on it as well. Completely agree that it's good that it's been able to come together so quickly. This needs to get done before what's already busy here. So it's only going to get busier once Christmas is here and more people arrive into town. So we've got to be on to this. So commendable that it's all been able to come together so quickly, and I completely support this.
Thank you. Now I see your ears have picked up. Councillor Hughes, have you got anything to say to this one?
I do. I have a quick question I just thought of. So you're saying that the audit's going to be done to make sure that the service delivery is up to par. Is that going to be done across the field with where the other services Osbright have in Myrtleford and Bright as well?
Thank you, Councillor Hughes. Yes, the audit will go around the entire municipality so that we can ensure that the standards are being maintained in the ovens as well, rather than just the new contractor.
Right. Okay. So we're confident that the services in Bright and Myrtleford will be as per contract. Obviously, there's been a shortfall in Mount Beauty, so just wanting to make sure that we're confident that that's going to be happening as well.
Yeah, and we are confident that will happen, but we're also maintaining a request, really, that if the facilities are falling short of people's standards that they're expecting, that they let us know, that they let their councillor know, because it's really important to us that they are kept to the standard that people expect. And it could be that they haven't been cleaned for a couple of days and they're due to be cleaned, so you catch them at a bad moment. But even that knowledge is important to us as we think about what the next contract might want to look like, and the regular nature of how often we need these services to be cleaned to maintain the standard that we're expecting. So it's all good intelligence for us.
Perfect. Thank you.
Councillor Kelly, anything on the finances or any questions?
Thanks, Mayor. Look, just two questions, Ms. Havercroft. The onboarding process, does this mean there'll be a change in phone numbers and things in the facilities in the Kiewa Valley that you dial if you want to report something?
Thank you, Councillor Kelly. Excellent question. I'll take it on notice. I will say the answer is yes, but I'll make sure that it happens.
Okay. And just the second one around the contract structure, penalties or incentives for performance, are there any? Are they of the same nature as the existing service providers contract, or any changes there?
So thank you, Councillor Kelly. The scope of the works is quite specific to the Kiewa Valley and the expectations and the KPIs that performance are set out there based on the regularity of the cleaning that's undertaken and the swiftness of the cleaning after a facility has been used, for example, by one of our community groups. There isn't any penalty clauses in it apart from underperformance and the normal route of calling contractors in for meetings and discussing it, etc. In a similar vein that we've been undertaking with Ausbright throughout their contract to identify and clarify with them where there's been underperformance that we've wanted to improve.
Thank you, Ms. Hazelcroft.
Thank you. I just have one question. Thanks, Ms. Hazelcroft, and that's regarding the contract in 9 months' time. That's the end of Ausbright and also, what do we call it? People Communities, is that the name of them?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. PeopleWorks.
PeopleWorks.
The contract for Ausbright across the 3 contracts is actually the end of November. The devil's in the detail of the original council report in August 2020, but the contract that we have with PeopleWorks is for 9 months. We may be coming back in August to have another conversation.
I'm just
That gives
wondering,
us- That gives us a lot of time to really think about what the next contract has to look like, whatever the timings of that will be, but they'll be in the spring of next year.
Thank you for that. Councillor Janus, did you have anything further to add? No? Thank you. Could I put these recommendations to the vote, please? All those in favour of awarding this contract? Thank you. That's been carried unanimously. Mr. CEO, you have our blessing to go and sign that contract and get things happening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, councillors.
Good. That being the case, I'll let Councillor Hughes get back to a party. I'm sure Councillor Prime needs to get back to the family. Councillor Kelly looks like he wants to go for a bike ride. Councillor Janus is ready for Christmas. So thank you all. And I will also acknowledge that Mr. Rees was on this meeting. So having said that, I declare this special council meeting closed at 5:14. And thank you very much and all have a safe time.
Thanks, folks.